Welcome everyone to the Inspired Choices TV show. I am your host, Christine McIver. I am thrilled that you are here today. We have another inspiring guest with us that is actually joining us online. We're going to be talking with the amazing Donnielle Carter. Welcome to the show, Donnielle.
Thank you. I'm so grateful to be able to join you from wherever I am in the world.
Yes.
Wherever that is right now.
Wherever
I'm never
that
sure.
is. You're not sure. I'm thrilled that you are here. So on the Inspired Choices TV show, we speak to people who are creating their worlds and inspiring others in the midst of doing that. Donnielle is a fabulous individual that I just admire and have known for years. She's become a very dear friend, and she still fascinates me with what she shares and what she creates. So before we get into today's show, and the topic today is we're going to be talking about what language does your body speak. Let me tell you a little bit about Donnielle. Donnielle is on a mission to assist people to change how they interact, view, and be with their bodies. She spent most of her life ignoring and judging her body despite her unique background of TV and radio and being educated in nutrition and holistic approaches to healing and changing bodies. Donnielle is an international speaker and the spokesperson for Access Consciousness, Right Body for You, and a major contributor to the best-selling book, Right Body for You. Once severely shy, hard to imagine, she is now regularly interviewed and makes public appearances in addition to facilitating classes, including her Energy of Words classes and the Transformative Right Body for You workshops, helping people to rediscover the glory, fun, and joy that a body truly is. Topics for her workshops include body image, pain, eating, weight, money, words and language, the earth, and many, many more. Is it possible to change your body and your life by changing the way you look at it? Well, Donnielle says it is. You can connect and find out more about Donnielle at donnielle.com. That's DONNIELLE.com. So, Donnielle, I would love
Christine.
for you, I would love for you to take us back to the beginning with you. You were born and raised in Utah, is that correct?
Not Utah. I live in Utah now, and most of that I've known you, but
Okay.
I've lived all over the United States. California, Colorado, Arizona, Nevada, Utah, Texas, Wisconsin.
Wow, you really do get around.
Yes, I do.
So tell us about your journey into, like what did you start doing initially in your career? You went to school, correct?
I actually have a broadcast production degree, which means if you give me a camera or microphone and a bunch of cables, I can MacGyver it into, something audible and video wise. And but what was interesting with that is I also my mother was a nutritionist, and she did a health talk radio show for 27 years every Saturday for 27 years. And when I was at home, well, as a part of that, I spent my teenage years running a radio board for her, or screening calls, or and all that kind of stuff. So when I went to college, I went into broadcast production because it just made sense. And I was originally wanting to go into documentaries because I
Mm-hmm.
loved learning about new things. And, being the eclectic person that I am, I'm like, how fun would it be to learn about this topic for 2 years and then go over here and learn about this other topic and so forth? But as life does it, I ended up taking whatever job I could, and I started at a TV station and worked my way up to promotion and production manager.
Mm-hmm.
So I was responsible for everything that you saw with the logo on it. So the shows, the billboards, sorry, not the shows, but the promos and the commercials and all of that kind of stuff. And what was interesting about that is, with the education that I had learned from my mom, it was interesting that I had gone into a place where I knew I was successful at my job when I got people to judge themselves. Buy this, watch this show, increase our ratings, increase our revenue. If you're not looking this way, buying this thing, watching this thing, acting this way, you were wrong somehow. And then you could buy this or do this to not be wrong. So it was interesting that I had created and was highly successful at a job where I was teaching people how to judge themselves
And what was that
dynamically.
experience like for you?
Well, it was killing me, you know, and I don't mean like I had some kind of disease or chronic fatigue or anything like that. It was just a little bit of me was dying every day. You know, when there's this expression in TV that TV is a long dark hallway where good men go to die.
Wow.
And I'm like, yeah, I'm like, well, that's interesting. You know, and when I first started, I'm like, I don't know what that means. I love this. 10 years later, I'm like, I get it. I get it. And for me, and now, you know, I work with this energy, and I know we're going to get into it, but really looking at the energy of it all, me putting out that energy every day of look like Buffy, or buy this, or if you're not watching the show, you're not cool, you know, and all this kind of stuff, it was dimming my internal even will to live. I started dressing darker, and not like clinic like you would say depressed, right?
Right.
But that spark of life that we all are was dimming. And I can look back now and I know it's because I was teaching people how to judge themselves.
Wow.
And I was
That's
only
very
successful
fascinating.
when they properly judged themselves. Yeah. So I got out.
I'm glad that you did. It's interesting for all the
Yes,
years
me
that I've
too.
known you and everything you've ever shared with me. I've never heard you talk about that. That's fascinating. So
Yeah.
when you left TV, what was your next step in your journey?
Well, interestingly enough, I left TV because it was basically killing me, right? I was slowly killing myself. And I left TV to go help my mother take care of her parents while they were dying.
Oh Lord.
And so I know. You're like, I mean, it's not funny, but it really is. If you look at the symmetry of it all, it's like,
Yes.
oh, I was slowly dying, so I'm going to go live with two people who are slowly dying. And so they, you know, I took care of them 24/7. That was my job for 2 years, which was interesting to go from the hustle bustle of a promotion manager, production manager, to following an old man with dementia around because he couldn't sit still. And so after that, I started reconnecting with my mom's radio show, helping her, and you know, doing working the board again, doing part time at a radio station just for fun, something to
Mhm.
do outside of my grandparents. And then um, one Saturday afternoon, they had this gentleman on. His name's Dr. Dane Heers, the co-founder of Access Consciousness, and he started talking about energy and bodies. And I had always been resistant to this because my mom was a seeker. She was one of those who was always trying something different. And she would always be like, Donnielle, you should try this. And I'm like, no, you know, petulant little bratty kid, even in my, you know, 20s or 30s. No, right? And so in her search, when she had this gentleman on, for the first time, some things started clicking in my universe. And then I'm a big proponent of the timing. It's like you hear things when you're ready. So it's
Yes.
like you can't judge yourself for, if I had heard this 10 years ago, my life would be different. And knowing now what I know about energy, you wouldn't have heard it 10 years ago.
Hmm.
Until you're asking the question, until you're really ready to step into that, you're not going to hear it. Even if you hear it, you're not listening.
Yes.
And so it started making sense, all this energy stuff. So I started taking some of these classes. And he said something in my very first class that rocked my world. It was one simple question. He's like, would you be willing to ask your body for everything that pertains to it? Because what if your body has a consciousness of its own? And I'm like, wait a minute, wait a minute. I've been working with my mom and people and bodies and all of her health experts for, you know, 20 years at this point. And it's all about telling the body what to do. It's all about making it do what you want. It's all about controlling it. It's about you doing to your body. What do you mean ask your body? What? And it changed my life. From then, it's like I've really started looking and exploring, and I get to travel the world inviting people to including their body and talking to their body with things that involve their body. It's quite the right turn from,
It is
or
quite the right
left turn, or
turn.
90-degree turn from.
Exactly. How long have you, when did that right turn take place? How many years ago was that for you?
12 and a half years at this point.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's
so this is longer
really
than I was in
cool.
TV.
It's very cool that you, even in that short period of time, in 12 years, that you have moved through and changed things so dramatically within you, not just what you're doing in the world, but by,
Yeah.
you know, what you
Oh,
shared, how you were behind the camera and you were so shy and you were, you know, basically dying with your body and you were doing judgment, which is exactly what you're now teaching
yeah.
people to not do.
I know. And just a real quick story. It's like when I say I was shy, I mean I was shy. It was my job to stand up in front of people and welcome them to theaters. I wouldn't do it. Or if a camera, like if I was in a studio setting, I would even walk behind the camera in case the camera was on. It was off. No one was filming. Dark studio by itself. I would walk behind it because I didn't want to accidentally be on the camera.
Oh, wow, Donnielle. Oh,
So
wow. Such a
I,
difference.
yeah.
Well, I really want to get into talking about talking to our bodies, speaking with our bodies, and the language of our bodies. It's
Yes.
a fascinating topic that you and I have
Yes.
not yet explored deeply, and I definitely want to do it. But we're going to go for a quick break. And when we get
Excellent.
back, we're going to dive deep into this and we're going to pick your brain about all of this and whatever else wants to come through. So everyone stay tuned. We will be back in just a couple of minutes where we'll continue to have this fabulous conversation with Donnielle Carter. We'll see you shortly. Have you thought about bringing your voice to the world? Are you looking to have a global platform that you can connect with? At Inspired Choices Network, we create an opportunity for you to bring your voice each and every week to a global platform. We support you, we train you, we bring your podcast out to more than 50 platforms. We are a network of building a community where we're bringing conscious voices to the world. If you're looking to have more of an opportunity, if you're looking to bring what you know to the world, do connect with us. You can contact us at inspiredchoicesnetwork.com, or you can send an email to becomingahost@inspiredchoicesnetwork.com. We'll have a conversation and we'll show you what truly is possible. Welcome back, everyone. Thank you for joining us here at the Inspired Choices TV show. I'm Christine McIver. My fabulous, inspiring guest, Donnielle Carter, is joining us. And today we're talking about what language does your body speak? So, Donnielle, what the heck does that mean? Like, that's just, I'm not going to sugarcoat this. Like, come on, get to the chase. What do you mean, the language of our body? What language does my body speak? Like, are you talking English, Spanish, German? What do you mean?
I love that. Let's cut to the chase. Yeah. Well, you know, before the break, we started talking I mentioned a little bit about energy,
Yes.
right? And it was interesting because when I used to live in Houston and I would talk about energy, they would think I meant like energy power source, you know, that kind of thing, because there's a big energetic community there. But the energy I'm talking about, and, you know, spoiler, your body speaks energy. This is why we're talking about this. The energy we're talking about is the energy that is all around us. That is, it is. Sometimes I know it sounds like airy fairy, but it's not. It's a very pragmatic, practical thing, which is one of the things I've always loved about looking at the energy of things. It's the energy of like a person was out at home, or sorry, a person was out at work all day.
Yes.
You know, when we left. And then when they would come home, nobody would say a word to each other, but they instantly knew what's gone on today. Or my husband and wife is mad and what's going on. This energy field that I'm talking about is something that carries that information to us. So that's what I'm talking about, that energy. or those moments where you go, oh, I knew that. You're right. You did know that. And so a lot of my work is getting people to trust that, to develop it, to really acknowledge, oh, I can tell when people are mad or happy or sad without talking to them just because of the energy they be and that I become aware of. Okay? Your body speaks that energy. A lot of people think when I talk about what language does your body speak, it's like, but what if I speak English and it speaks German? Are we screwed? And it's like, no, no, no. Our original language was energy. Plain and simple, our original language was energy. And that's how all of us really communicate more than we give ourselves credit for. I mean, don't get me wrong, I love words. I'm a writer. I created the Energy of Words class. And it's this energy we pick up on and we interpret different ways. And it allows us to know beyond what people are saying with their words, but what their intentions are or what they're actually saying. Because it's like, have you ever had a conversation with somebody and they go, oh, I'm so happy. And you're like, if you're happy, why am I backing away from you slowly? Because I'm kind of afraid for my life. Or, it's because energetically they're like, I'm really mad. But they're like, oh, I'm so happy. And you're like, I don't know. That's that energy awareness too.
So
and this is what your body speaks to.
Okay, so when you're talking about picking up on the energy, the first thing that I thought of was, well, you're talking about intuition. And I always think that my mind is receiving that information, but you're talking about the language of our body. So are you telling me that my body's receiving it, my mind is transmitting it to me for my awareness?
Yes and no.
I love when you're clear.
You're welcome. Because there's many ways. When I'm really getting into this energy, yes, your mind can pick it up. Your being can pick it up. People call it intuition. People call it psychic. People call it body reading. They call it a number. Picking up on the what is your body saying, like that. And all of that is true. And it's just different labels for it. So it's like whichever one works for you. And so when I'm saying this, your body can give you information about it, about you, about other beings like spirits,
Yes.
other bodies, earth, animals. It can give you information about all that. So it's also your intuition. Your body is one of those ways that gives you information, okay? Because when I talk about talking to your body, a lot of people think it's only about what your body wants to eat, what your body wants to wear, or who your body wants to shag. And yes, absolutely, please include your body in that information, but it goes beyond that. Your body is actually a key to knowing how to be, like in any given situation, to create an outcome for you. So in this talking to your body, it's not just about eat, shag, wear. It is also about going out in the world. Because has anybody ever had that, you walk down a street and all of a sudden you're like, oh, I think I should get off the street. This doesn't feel safe anymore. If you look at it, what does your body do? That you can feel it in your gut, or the hair on the back of your neck stands up, or you get goosebumps or whatever. These are all communications from your body of it interpreting these energetic signals of like something is ahead of us that you should be aware of, and get off the streets. And that's just one example. Trust me, I can talk for years about different examples of how your body gives you information. So yes, it's your intuition. Yes, it's your psychic ability. Yes, it's your instant knowing. And yes, your body is one of those tools to give you information. So ask it what it wants to eat, ask it what it wants to wear, but ask it how to survive in the world as well.
Wow, that's good information right now for sure. Okay, you said we're talking about the language. What language does your body speak? what do you mean specifically about that? Like, does my body speak a different language than your body? We're both women, we're both white, we're both gorgeous. I mean, what language does your body speak and my body speak? Is it a different language? Does every person in the world have a different language with their body?
Yes and no. I know I had to do that for you, just for you. Um, all bodies speak language. Oh, sorry. All bodies speak energy, which, as I said, energy is our original language. Plain and simple, we all communicate energetically. Okay. After that, your body can communicate differently to you with physical sensations. Like that danger situation we were just talking about a second ago.
Right.
Someone may feel it in their gut. The body may be giving you that indication that way. Somebody else may be feeling it on the hairs on the back of my neck stood up. So it's like it starts with this awareness of energy and that knowing and trusting. And then how you and your body communicate with that energy is unique to you.
Okay.
Is part of that developing that, building that. So all bodies, all infinite beings speak energy, and then the interpretation of it, how you and your body communicate, is unique. A lot of similarities, but it is unique, and that's honestly one of the things I see a lot of people doing is like, oh, I'm feeling it in my shoulder. Do you feel it in your shoulder? No, my shoulder's fine. Oh, then I must be doing it wrong, or you're doing it wrong. No, you need to just talk to your body and say, how are you giving me this information? You can actually have that conversation with your body. And this this will be a weird concept, but when we're actually verbally speaking to our body, it's slower than the communication with your body is actually possible if you just trust the energy. If you acknowledge that and practice it, energetic communication, like that. So when we use our words, we're actually slowing down.
Is this way of communicating with our body, is it something that takes people years to learn and start to incorporate into their lives?
No, not at all. See, I thought I'd give a simple answer that time, but it is like, it does take practice, but it is not insurmountable. It does not have to take a long time, but it does take practice because our bodies are actually always communicating to us. Okay. A lot of people in this reality, like, 98% of them, are thinking that it's only the drastic communication. And what I mean by that is your body's always communicating to you. Communication with your body should be as subtle as the wind, right? The wind blows, the energy changes, the communication. So your body is very quiet at the beginning. And then if you don't listen, it'll turn it up. You don't listen, it'll turn it up. You don't listen, it'll turn it up until it reaches an intensity that we identify as pain.
Right.
Because have you ever had pain in your body?
Yes, I have had pain in my body.
Right. And so what occurs when your body hurts? What do? You stop.
I stop and pay attention to my body.
You pay attention. Exactly. You ask a question, even if it's like, what the heck is going on? And so one of my targets with all this is to get you and your body to that communication where even the subtlest change, you pick up on it. So you don't have to get to that loudest communication that we call pain of some sort. And so that's why I say it doesn't have to take years and years, but it does take practice and the willingness to not judge yourself if you think you got it wrong.
Yeah,
so it's like you ask your body.
The challenge.
Yeah, body, what would you like to eat? Oh, I must have eaten something wrong because I felt sick. It's okay. Don't judge yourself for it. You're having that communication. Just keep practicing.
Just keep practicing. So what are you creating in the world right now, Donnielle?
Oh, so much. I'm finishing up a book on body communication,
Fabulous.
which is very exciting. And telecalls about communication, and also I'm creating this energy of words class.
Yes.
Because I've worked with hundreds, maybe thousands of people over the years about communicating with their body. And they ask their body one thing and then they get the opposite. And I'm like, what the heck is going on with this? And for me, it's really looking at the energy. We can ask our body one thing verbally, but energetically be saying something different.
Okay.
And the body, again, speaks that energy. So I'm creating this energy of words classes so you can get congruent with the words, with the energy. And that's one tip I would love to give everybody right now. It's like, if you ask your body verbally for one thing and you get the opposite, just be vulnerable and look at the energy. Maybe you didn't actually desire what everybody's telling you should be asking your body.
That's very good. Donnielle, you and I could talk about this for days and days and days.
Yes.
But we are coming to a conclusion in today's TV episode. I'm really grateful for what you create in the world. I'm grateful for our connection, and I believe that you're one of these leaders that are changing the world for the better, for sure. And you're starting with the individual, one person at a time, which is such a beautiful gift to all of us. So everyone out there, if you would like to connect with Donnielle, please go to her website, donnielle.com. You can find her on all social media platforms, of course, and check into what she's creating. If this has even piqued your interest just a little bit, I invite you to connect with her and connect with one of her classes. She will become a real huge inspiration in your life, because this woman sees things much differently than most people. So until next time, everyone, thank you so much for being here. Tune in again where we will have another inspiring guest who is definitely changing the world. And until then, remember, you can always make another choice.